opening thoughts is I think this is an exciting time for all coaches, and everybody's excited about their team, and everybody's undefeated and has high expectations, and certainly we fall in that category. And it's been a good off season, and we've added some nice players into the mix, and we needed to because we lost so many guys. But it's going to be I believe a fun year for us. I'm really excited about working with these young guys.
Okay, we got a question right here on the front middle.
Mike Jones with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Bill, can you describe what your life has been like these past few months on the tilt-a-whirl, and are you glad to be getting back to the business of doing some coaching?
Yeah, I am. My life is it's been hectic, but there's a lot of guys and ladies out there whose lives are hectic and have a lot going on. But we have had a lot going on, and there's been a lot of worthwhile things that we've tried to squeeze in to do since there's been more opportunities this past 6 months than there has maybe been in other times fall in the season. But it's been wild, but it still beats work, and I hope I'm busy every off season like this. That means we probably had a pretty successful run. So, but it is nice to get back to coaching your team, and you know where you're going to spend the night every night and that kind of stuff, because I'm probably less busy now than coaching our team than I have been the last 6 months as far as trying to cram so many different things into the day.
We're going to go against the right side wall, and then we'll go to the left.
Hey, Bill, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Can you talk about what benefits come to your program with the national championship, some tangible things, and then more broadly, what sort of benefits that could have for the Big 12?
Well, I think for the University of Kansas, I think there's been many benefits. I think our interest levels at an all-time high, at a place where the interest level's always been very high. I think because of us winning it helps spearhead improvements in major improvements in facilities that would have gotten done, but it probably accelerated that. And also from a recruiting standpoint, I don't think winning it guarantees you anything because you still have to beat people more times than not on their turf recruiting. So we still got to go to L.A., and you got USC, Southern Cal, and Arizona there. You got to go to Chicago, and you got Illinois, Michigan State, and Notre Dame there. You got to go different spots, and you're in someone else's turf. But I do think we are in the game, and I think that has certainly assisted us in being in the game. And from a league standpoint, from my vantage point, it's ridiculous that the Big 12 had to validate the play of our league in men's basketball when you've had so many teams in the Final Four and Elite Eights over the time that the league's been in existence. But I don't think coaches felt that ever. But from the outside and the media perspective, it's something that probably needed to be done just to validate that, hey, this is as good a basketball league as there is anywhere.
Okay, we're going to skip that question. We'll go back over on the right-hand side.
Hey, Jimmy Trammell, Tulsa World. Hey, I'm sure you had some idea before you won a national championship of what you thought it might feel like after the fact. Now that you've had a chance to reflect on it, what did it feel like to win a national championship? And also, was there a time last year when you thought Byron Eaton was playing as well as anyone in the league?
Well, when I thought that for one 40-minute period when he played Kansas, that's for sure, because he kicked us pretty good when we played at Oklahoma State last year. I thought Byron was fabulous. But certainly the feelings of winning the championship, I think, is the only time that I've ever felt the win felt better than the losses felt bad. Only time. I've never had a game where I felt that winning that game felt as good as bad as the losses hurt. And that was like, you could add all the losses up, and it definitely still feels better. The thing that I probably underestimated in winning it, because I hadn't thought about it, was the internal satisfaction that you get that's non-public related for your players and for everybody that's just joined in and played a role in helping a group get there, and that could be, you just realize there's so many people that take such great pride and play their role in helping you coach your team, helping you put you in a position to even be in that game and those sorts of things. And to me, it's pretty humbling because there's a lot of people that have given their heart and soul to this profession, and we had the opportunity to experience as good as it possibly can feel. So we feel pretty blessed and lucky with that.
Got a question on the front right.
Coach Justin Knight, Stillwater News Press. With you and Kansas State losing so many underclassmen early, how much do you think the balance of power swings back down to the South this year?
Well, I think if you talk to the coaches in the South, they'd say the balance of power has been in the South for a while. I mean, if you talk to the coaches in the North, they think the South coaches don't know what they're talking about. But I do think on paper, the South appears to be very, very strong. I'm not saying the North does not appear to be strong. I'm just saying the South appears to be very strong. When you have Oklahoma and Texas and Baylor, who's picked 1, 2, and 3 in the league. So I mean, obviously, I'm not the only one who feels that way. But I will tell you this: expect the unexpected. I mean, that's the way it always works in our league. You're going to have guys step up and that are. From my vantage point, from your vantage point, how could you not think that K-State and Kansas would take a step backwards based on what they lost? But, how many of you have been to practice so far and know what we gained when we lost guys? So, I mean, K-State may not have Beasley, and we may not have our guys and that kind of stuff. But there are nice pieces to replace them, and sometimes the pieces can lend itself to becoming very, very good teams. And that's the goal, is not to have the best players. The goal is to have the best teams, which the best players give you the best chance. So I do think that the league will be as competitive as it is every year, and history certainly played out to be true in that regard.
Question on the aisle center.
Mark Rosner, Austin American Statesman. From what you've seen in practice, is there a reason to think that you're better than some people might believe?
Well, I really
after
don't.
A week.
I don't think we're very good right now at all. I do think we have a chance to get good because I think we have some nice pieces. There's much less margin for error. Last year, Darnell gets hurt, you put Sasha in there, so there's much less margin for error. But I don't think that we should just look at what we lost, because we did get some nice players coming in, and I do think we'll be very competitive, and I think that we got a chance to be good. I just don't know when that time frame will occur, but hopefully it'll occur before conference play begins. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be very competitive this year.
Further questions for Coach? We got one here in the middle, and then we'll go to the left.
Mike Jones with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Bill, among those new faces, has anybody caught your eye in particular in only a week?
Yeah, I would say so. I think Tyshawn Taylor's really a nice player, and it's a guy that nobody would know of him because he was the third or fourth leading scorer on his high school team. Of course, it's a high school team that won the mythical national championship, but he only averaged 10 a game in high school. He's good. And he's going to be good. And Marcus Morris is going to be very good. Markeith Morris has a chance to be very good. Mario Little, Travis Relaford are guys that I think can play most places. So to me, it's not going to be as much from do we have good enough guys. It's going to be a situation. Can we just get them to understand and buy in on what we're doing, and can we get them to become a team? Because we're not even close to becoming a team. I don't even know if I've ever had a team become a team until December or January. But certainly this group has a chance, and it's kind of new and it's fresh, and there's that youthful exuberance or whatever that is kind of refreshing. Because it takes us an hour to do something last year's team took 5 minutes to do. But still, yet they work hard that entire hour at it, and they're trying, and so I think that's exciting.
Question against the wall, left side.
Rick Dean, Topeka Capital. Bill, based on what you've seen in practices so far, how are guys reacting to the extended three-point line?
I would say, we have probably a little bit of an advantage over some schools because we went to Canada. And I thought Canada, without us emphasizing it at all, we didn't emphasize it at all, but we took a lot of bad shots. We took a lot of 2.5-pointers because them just not knowing the geography of the court as well. I do think it's going to have an impact. It won't have an impact with some guys like Abrams. He doesn't ever shoot on the line anyway. But there will be a majority of guys that 19-9 shot that was a decent shot for them now becomes a poor shot. And something else nobody talks about, side out of bounds is going to become a bigger factor too, because guys trying to posture themselves for a three in the corner, even though it's not like the NBA line, that extra foot, you're going to see a lot of guys stepping out of bounds too. So you're going to, there'll be things like that, trying to position themselves to shoot a three. So there'll be things like that occur that I think it'll take a year or so before players really get totally comfortable. But makes should go down. I just can't believe that you can move it back. It becomes a harder shot, and that does not occur. So I do think it will impact our game.
Got a question on the aisle right side.
You're saying makes should go down, but you think maybe it would deter people who aren't that good at it, and then just the good shooters take the three, and it doesn't impact the percentage?
So in other words, coaches are going to start telling them who can shoot and who can't shoot. Yeah, that could become true. We would never do that at Kansas, but we would never take a guy's confidence. But I do think there'll probably be more of that. But when you say makes go down, then you have less attempts. So percentages are not going to go up. I don't care who's shooting them.